This year we celebrate the Jubilee Year of Hope. And in light of this, we'll be having a three-part series looking at, first of all, the biblical foundations of the Jubilee Year. Second is how we can live the Jubilee Year in our own lives. And third, a commentary on indulgences. We hope that these videos are helpful for you and may help you to participate in the Jubilee Year the best that you can. God bless you all. I hope you enjoy. Hi everyone, I'm Father Olek and I am the assistant priest here in Mount Gambier Catholic Parish. Now it's with great joy that this year we celebrate a Jubilee Year, the Jubilee Year of Hope. And I'd just like to explain a little bit about the Jubilee Year and where it comes from and how frequently we celebrate them. So let's just pass those two words, Jubilee and year. So Jubilee comes from a Hebrew word Yobel, which was the instrument, a ram's horn, which was blown to inaugurate the Jubilee year on the Day of Atonement, the Yom Kippur. And how frequently were these Jubilee years celebrated? Well, the root of it goes right back to the Old Testament. In the book of Leviticus, we read in Leviticus chapter 25 that the Jubilee year was celebrated every 50 years. Now let's just briefly look at Leviticus chapter 25 from verse 8 onwards, where we will see what the Jubilee year is all about. So, you shall count off 7 weeks of years, 7 times 7 years, so that the period of 7 weeks of years gives 49 years. Then you shall have the trumpet sounded loud, that's the Yobel, on the 10th day of the 7th month, on the Day of Atonement, or in Hebrew, Yom Kippur. You shall have the trumpet sounded throughout all your land, and you shall hallow the 50th year. And you shall proclaim liberty throughout the land to all its inhabitants. It shall be a jubilee for you. You shall return every one of you to your property, and every one of you to your family. That 50th year shall be a jubilee for you. You shall not sow or reap the aftergrowth or harvest the unpruned vines, for it is a jubilee. It shall be holy to you. You shall eat only what the field itself produces. So that's Leviticus chapter 25 verse 8 to 12, where we hear the Jubilee year being presented. But to understand a little better, we need to know the context. So the book of Leviticus is the third book in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. Now what's happened? The Hebrew people were enslaved in Egypt. They've been freed, led by Moses to the promised land. They were on Mount Sinai. The covenant has been made. The law, the 10 Commandments has been given from the mountain. Moses comes down though. There's a problem though, because there's the golden calf, the idolatry, where the firstborn sons sell their birthright of being the priests. Going back to Adam in the garden, the firstborn son was the priest. And the Levites, one of the 12 tribes of Moses, come out quite well, and they then become the priests. That's where we get the book of Leviticus from, is from the Levitical priesthood. So we get the context, it's in the context of freedom. The Hebrews were enslaved, but God has brought them freedom. It's their independence on Mount Sinai, independence from the Egyptians, but now they are dependent upon God. And that's what the Jubilee year really is about. It's about recognizing our dependence upon God, that we are very much in God's hands. That's why the Jubilee year, every 50 years, was a year of freedom, where the land lied fallow, where we received life and our sustenance from God. It was every 7 weeks times 7 years. And note this repetition of 7. Now, are they lucky sevens? No, they're sacred sevens. 7 is a very important number in the Bible. Why? Well, in Hebrew, the term for to seven oneself literally means to swear an oath. Shavuot is to swear an oath. And oaths are ways in which covenants were made, where kinship bonds were formed between God and his people. So this notion of 7 is a way in which we enter into communion, ultimately, with God himself. And the Jubilee year, every 50 years, 70 times 7, 7 times 7, 49 on the 50th year, you had to rest and receive your life from God. And I think it's a helpful reminder for us, this rhythm of life, of work and then rest. Do we take time to receive our life from God and recognize that we are very much in God's hands? So this Jubilee year may be a reminder for us to give thanks to God for life, for family, and for love. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the second installment of our video series on the Jubilee year. God bless.